What happens when slowing growth meets political gridlock and the world's trade map gets redrawn in real time? Welcome to today's roundtable, where we're going to be breaking down a lot of the real events happening that are affecting the global markets at large. I'm here with Stuart of SmallCapVoice and Peter of All Penny Stocks. Let's get right into it. So guys, talking about the future of U.S. economic policy and some of the policy shifts that we've seen, there has been, we can probably talk more about the tariffs here, but I think everybody's a little bit fed up of hearing tariff constantly.
I think uncertainty is what's ruling the markets, and it's difficult because companies, are even withdrawing their estimates and their forecasts. They're pulling things back. This upcoming earnings season is going to be really interesting. Some of the stocks we've talked about in the past, deeply impacted by what's going on with China. Nvidia is tanking. We saw people sort of think, okay, well, I'm going to get into stocks that are less impacted by China. That hasn't worked. As of recording today on the 17th April, the Dow is getting crushed. We've had multiple days. We even had so much fervor around Black Monday actually happening, which it didn't happen, but the cumulative effect is still the same. We've had so many down days that people are talking recession. There's a lot of fear mongering going on. That's why we've seen gold, which we talked about, and Peter rightfully pegged. Gold is soaring, doing great. Peter, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. It's rough out there. Companies of all sizes are they're cutting back, or if not cutting back, they're just standing put. They have no idea what to do. Like you're saying, estimates are hard, actually impossible to predict at this point. And so what do? You honestly, everyone's just waiting to see how this plays out, and everyone is hoping that some sort of an arrangement, some sort of a deal is done between the US and specifically China, but really with the rest of the world. And then when that happens, everything reopens. Right now it's frozen. Everything's frozen, and the longer it is, the worse we're going to be in 3-6 months. So it's scary, but I think cooler heads will ultimately prevail here, and we'll see where the market bottoms out. I feel like regardless of the last couple days they've been bad, it is trying to bottom.
It's trying to bottom. It's hard to buy the dip. I've bought the dip 3 times. And that's not how you're supposed to buy the dip. The dip then dipped. When you dip, I dip, we dip. It just keeps dipping. And so I'm having a hard time figuring out when to come in on the dip, because I've dipped and then I've lost 10. I bought Google. It's down $3 today. Actually $5 since I bought it midday yesterday. So, I know there's some players out here. I'm going to bring up one thing before you jump in, Kevin. I got to tell you, this one I did not see coming, and I should have. Hertz, these stocks, we talked about it, I think the first episode, these car stocks, holy shit. If you would have been in, they're cheap stocks too. I think Hertz is like up $4 today, and it's a $8 stock, $9 stock. Avis, I would have thought it would have cratered after it run up. It's up huge again today. So car stocks is something to talk about. Kevin, sorry, go ahead.
The one that I was going to say is, because you can't find the dip, the one that I've been looking at, and I think I've even told you about this one in the past, is Beat on the NASDAQ. Heartbeam Incorporated. I made a killing on their IPO when they first came to market, and right now they're hitting some of the worst lows I've ever seen, and I cannot catch the bottom on this one. I tried to do an entry at 195, did not work. We're at 145 right now. And so yeah, the medical stock medical sector, I can't even find a good play in the medical sector because of the news that came out yesterday. Again, back to the tariffs of the administration. So yeah, finding a new play, finding anything to kind of hedge your bet. Maybe we should turn to our technical and analyst here to kind of go through things. Maybe you got a good one for us here.
Yeah, I definitely do. I actually have a medical play for you guys, so I'll bring that up. But I want to bring up one point about trying to find that bottom. A lot of times you gotta just wait for that. So first of all, finding bottoms, that's a technical exercise. That's not a fundamental one. So you have to see the technicals work in your favor. They're not there yet. So what I'm getting at is, I think a bottom is trying to be developed. Doesn't mean that's the bottom. It just means a lot of the downside has happened, and we don't know for sure when it's going to break out. There are some things I'm looking at, but we're too early. So, and sometimes you don't nail the exact bottom. That's the thing with technical analysis. You're never going to hit that exact bottom. You don't want to, because that's when you make mistakes. You want to be a little bit above the bottom, but confirmed that it is your new breakout or your new bullish run. And that's the smart way of doing it. On that note, yes, I do have a medical company because
please move to the medical company. I feel like if we say the bottom one more time, we might be tagged into the wrong type of video. So no more talk of bottoms.
There you go.
This one is rallying. This one's rallying despite everything going on around the world. It is called Spectral Medical Incorporated. It is on the TSX in Canada, symbol EDT. That's Edward Dog Thomas.
You're such a Canuck. Just had to say
Well,
that.
it is duly listed. Don't worry. I always try to find the duly listed ones for you Americans. The American side is on the OTC, and it is EDTXF. That's Edward Dog Thomas X-Ray Frank. So Spectral Medical, and Kevin will have that showing on the screens. Great looking chart on this one. I'm not going to get into too much on the fundamentals, other than strongly recommend looking at the fundamentals. There's a reason it's running, and there's a reason it's going to continue to run, in my opinion. Right now, I looked at a 15-year chart because I needed to really go back on it. It is touching a massive, massive resistance around 80, 85 cents right now, and it's right at that level. It's been on an uptrend since, call it early 2023. When this breaks the 80, 85 cent level, which I really believe it's going to in the coming maybe days, maybe weeks, so who knows. When it does, it's running. It's running, and then easily 110, maybe even 120 is in the cards for this one. So I love this one on the medical side. So that's just kind of, and in terms of tariffs, this is a company that's, I don't want to say insulated fully, but definitely not going to feel as much pain from any kind of tariff issues, however they pan out going forward. So that's that one. I've got another one here, but we'll hold that in the back pocket for now.
That's a fascinating company. I'm on their website right now, looking at what they do, and reading this press release here that just came out on the 27th of March, saying Spectral Medical nears completion of key clinical trials for sepsis treatment, and so they're going after septic shock, which is a really serious medical condition and problem. So well, kudos to them. Good to see that they're running. That's a lot of low volume, though. So, I mean, Peter, as somebody who's much less experienced in their personal trading here, I'm looking at this and I'm saying it's running off of 3.9 thousand shares on average on the 3-month average volume there. So what exactly were you saying? Like, you're saying that it's running right now. Is it too late to get in on this one? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
No, yeah, I agree. The volume's a little lower now, and again, I'm not sure if you're looking at the U.S. listing or the
looking
Canadian
at the OTC
listing.
markets listing.
You're looking at the OTC one. Okay, so I'm on the Canadian one, but nonetheless, it's also pretty low. I mean, it's not ideal, but that's the thing, right? I mean, this is a microcap at the end of the day, so liquidity is a little bit of an issue. But again, I'm allpennystocks.com, so that's my forte. So I look at the microcap stocks, but it does look like it's high, like it's it is at its 52-week high or near its 52-week high right now. So on first glance, it probably looks overbought, but I don't think it is. When you really pull the chart back and you look at 10, 15 years, this is at a level that's just about to rip. So again, but this is not a day or week or even a month story. If you're jumping in now thinking in 2-3 weeks you're going to get 120, you'll be misinformed.
Well, it's tough with these drug companies. I mean, we've had one here that has been under our coverage for years. And in fact, it just did pop, Briacel BCTX. And it is a company, you'll love this, Peter, Vancouver, British Columbia.
Nice.
But we've been with Briacel a long time, and we've noticed, obviously when it gets good news, it runs. And when it gets news of a small setback, man, the bottom really seems to fall out on these. But I wanted to say that. But you said you had a second pick. Let's go ahead and get to it. Let's not keep it in your pocket. Let's talk about it.
All right, I'll pull that out of my pocket. No problem. So the next one
Man, we're talking bottoms and pulling stuff out of the pocket, and it's going to touch this.
Went weird. I know. It did go weird. I agree with you. Second one, Bitcoin Well.
Okay, we know this. Yeah.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic. So it's on the TSX Venture, BTCW, and on the OTC, that is BCNWF. So this one, Bitcoin related company, you're playing this like you're playing Bitcoin. Right now, I mean, obviously the last, couple months or so, things have really pulled back. And if you look at a chart of this one, this is in an absolutely perfect uptrend from late 2023 when it was trading at 2.5 cents. So it topped out at 27 at the beginning of this year. It's down at, well, according to what I was looking at last, 14.5 cents. This one's curling back up to run. I mean, this one's, you got very little downside because you got a very nice support level around 10 cents. And then the upside's pretty decent, 25 plus cents. And this one probably isn't, a very long-term play. You could probably see this in a few months, easy. So I think it's a great little runner, and I wouldn't be surprised if in 3 months I look at it and it's right back at those January levels. So that's my second one.
Yeah, we interviewed Adam last year. Great guy, great interview, incredibly young. Makes us all, except for Kevin, feel really old, but very smart, savvy guy. So I'm glad you brought that one in. Kevin, any closing thoughts for us today?
Well, you know what? It's going to be interesting to kind of see how this keeps shaping up, because we are talking about pharmaceuticals, we're talking about medical companies, and as of yesterday, I'm looking at a piece here on Reuters that says pharma companies expected to absorb any tariff hit in the short term. And so we'll see kind of how global policy, U.S. policy is going to be affecting it. It's kind of fascinating to see how different people and countries have responded to a lot of this action here and kind of what the Trump administration is doing. I mean, I'll just quickly say that Target has finally hit what appears to be a triple bottom here. And so I might actually, I'm still averaging down. I've been averaging down since our first round
Kevin,
table here.
you and that Target, man.
Every episode with this guy. Every episode.
I don't even want to look, but I have a feeling it's still bad.
All right, enough of that. Kevin's microphone's now turned off. Hey, take a look at my picks would just be, again, I'm looking at it right now. I cannot believe Avis right now, up $10.84, another 14%. This is off a run earlier this month where it did not retrace that run. And they're bringing along some friends with them. Hertz, an $8.45 stock, which is up 48% today. As I just said, my math was right, even though I was doing it off the top of my bald head. So we got to check out this sector and why it's this way. And I did read into it and I figured it out. But you do your due diligence. Leave us a comment on why you think this is happening and is it sustainable. Peter, you got anything else to say?
I'll do a sneak peek. It's probably tariff related, but that's about all I'll say.
Okay, all right. It is tariff related. Okay. Whatever. Anyways, cut off his mic too. I need a mute button. I need a mute button. Give me a mute button for the next. Hey, speaking of the next episode, we're going to have a special guest here, and I think you're going to really enjoy not only his perspective, but his accent, as he's from an area in America that's, well, it's known for their accents. So, no, it's not Boston, though. It's not going to be Boston. Anything else, guys, before we wrap this one up? We're good? Okay, they don't have anything else to say. For Kevin and Peter, this is Stuart saying thanks for tuning in to this roundtable.